it I just want to share the latest thing that we've done with Aya. You're actually seeing Aya inside of Telegram. And what is Telegram? It's a free messaging service. Think things like WhatsApp, Slack, whatnot. And what this allows me to do is actually interact with Aya in real time wherever it is that I'm at. The way that we have Aya set up right now with VS Code, it doesn't allow me, without having a desktop computer or a laptop computer in front of me, from interacting with our agent. What this allows me to do is actually have and share thoughts with Aya in real time. And Aya is then able to interact with our system because it lives on a VPS. Aya is live at any point that I want to talk with the agent about what it is that we're working on. So all of that is to say, it's yet the next step in the evolution of the 90mm, and I wanted to show you a little bit about how that works here. So if you have been part of our community, if you've been part of our program, you know this started out with AI employees, which were documented processes. We then took those documented processes after seeing all of the amazing work that guys like Jeff Hunter are doing with OpenClaw and using Claude Code to basically run our agent. And using some additional learning that we found, we were able to build this agent. And seeing what people were doing with Telegram allowed us then to be able to do that here. So I have this ongoing chat with Aya. You see the LB here on the side. That's actually a group that eventually Lorelei and Abby will get added to, where we could have different threads on different topics that Aya is then able to interact with. But what you see here is the chat that I just said is, hey, give me a good overview of what you do. I'm about to overview the live stream of how we set you up. And it tells you what Aya is, the business operating system built on the 90mm, what it holds, the projects, pipelines, priorities, all of the knowledge that we've given our agent that's stored in that agent brain that you've seen on previous live streams that we've done. Day to day, think through problems, build and run automations, manage teams' workflows, as you can see here, and it correctly identifies, right? Lorelei being our systems administrator that runs our newsletter campaigns, our email marketing, Abby doing our content marketing and whatnot. All of those workflows manage queue work that needs to be done on a desk. That's part of the security protocols that we set up for. How he accesses me, desktop via Claude Code, phone via Telegram, which you're seeing here, and same context, same memory. I mean, all of that kind of stuff. So just to kind of show you what we're doing here as well with Aya, let me get over to that screen. You can, wherever my mouse is, there we go. I said, hey, give me an example of a project without details that exposes the internal workings and of a project that we're working on. And you can see here, right? This is something that we're working on with Yash Suarez called the Relevated Summit. We're going to start in earnest getting this stuff out there. But it's all designed to access the memory of things that we build in with the help of and inside of the 90mm. The way AI is working right now, and the way you should start to think about it, is that it is an integrated system inside of your business. So it is a piece of technology that, when properly focused on the constraint inside of your business, can do amazing things. When we set this up inside of Lisix's system and the 90mm, it was all designed around the idea of ensuring that our constraint continues to operate here, which you can see on the through line. The business runs on constraint thinking, one constraint at a time. Every tool, every automation, every decision traces back to that same question. And for us, does this protect or expand family time while growing the business? That's the money shot. That's the throughput. That is the idea that we're not just using artificial intelligence to do things faster. We have a very specific purpose, and there's a lot of things that we don't do that don't actually help us achieve this goal. So why the Telegram? Why the Telegram integration? Well, I wanted to make sure that what we did with Aya allowed me to share my thoughts in real time. If you've been in any sort of course, if you're going to join Teresa and me at our course at the RIA conference called Me Plus You Plus AI, the entire premise is that you need to master conversation. You need to master thoughts. To do that, infinitely better output from your artificial intelligence. Remember, these are language models. They're trained on the human language and the way that we express our thoughts and ideas. So my thought was, I don't want to just sit there and have to record everything, and then I hope I remember it later. I wanted Aya to be able to access those thoughts in real time when I have them, because I have a lot of crazy thoughts at a lot of crazy times, and then be able to do so here. So I'm going to ask Aya a question here and see what the answer comes up with. So I'm recounting on this live stream right now. You can say hi to everybody. The process we went through to integrate you. So let's go a little bit more in depth and detail. That's not proprietary knowledge. Anybody can figure that out because we figured it out. So tell everybody, what was the process we went through to get you integrated with the 90mm? And again, using WhisperFlow to track everything. And we send in that message. And look, I'll tell you, it's not like it's instantaneous. Aya just doesn't respond. Just like a real person has to go through a process of thinking, of accessing memory, accessing information. But here we go. It started with the diagnostic. We didn't start by building tools. We started by identifying the constraint, using TOC thinking, map the real problem. The business was fully designed, but had no activation condition, kept deferring. The real estate practice existed on paper, but never started. All of this stuff was stuff that we went through. I mean, I was going back real far. The change, the change sequence, right? We went through that process. Then we built the BOS, then the phone access. The most recent piece, the Telegram bridge that you're seeing right now, same agent, same memory, same context as the desktop. Built because the constraint is family time and a system only works, right? The principle underneath it all, don't build what you don't think you'll need. That's exactly true. I should have been a little bit more clear. You gave us the full history. That's perfect. But I actually want to talk about the phone integration, the Telegram bridge. Walk us through that process of how you helped me build the Telegram bridge. What did I come to you with? What triggered that process? How did we have that conversation to create something that allowed us to continue to collect information even when I'm not at a desktop device? And let's see what I back with on the conversation there. Now, the idea behind all of this is that you're going to have your thoughts at random moments. And you could probably and most certainly set up your agent through Telegram. And I think OpenClaw does this. I've not used OpenClaw because I don't necessarily need that level of development behind it. But it's the same premise, right? It's a system built on structures and rules and processes that integrates AI models into what it is that you're doing. You know, I just use a single model. I use the subscription that we have currently with Claude Code to be able to do it. But here we go. The constraint is family time. That's the problem. That's the throughput leak. Trigger was simple. He wanted to be able to talk to me from anywhere and have it actually mean something, not just a chat that disappeared, but a real session. So we diagnosed it like any other constraint. What does phone access actually need to be? It needs the full BOS context. It needs memory that persists. It needs to be safe, meaning no accidental sends, no irreversible actions, firing from a pocket. It needs to be low friction because if it's complicated, it won't get used. We designed the security model first. That was a non-obvious piece. The phone session runs strictly less privileged than a desktop session. No shell access, no integrations, no outward path. The only thing it can do is read, think, and plan and write like the BOS itself. Anything that touches the outside world, sending an email, posting to GHL, running an automation, gets staged to a queue, and that queue gets triggered. And then we built it, right? So essentially what we did is we went through the change sequence. What do we need to change? What do we need to change to? And then how do we make that change happen? That's essentially what Aya just did here. And again, the beautiful part about this is that the way we have our agent set up, it's accessible to me now. I now have the ability from my phone to do important work with my agent with limits on what it is that I do. And so I'm going to ask one little final thing here and say, all right, so let's show people a step-by-step instruction of what we had to do to build the Telegram bridge. Right? Remember, this is open source information. We're not divulging how we connected it specifically to our system and our methods, but like what could somebody do, since we're educating them right now on a live stream, of connecting their AI agent, whether that be the 90mm or some other framework that they're using, to Telegram, build that Telegram bridge. How would we do that? Give me the step-by-step. And again, I will come back with that. The thing, and this is the thing that I want to stress about all of these different lives, all of these different things that we send out, right? There are definitely people that spend all day doing this stuff. And they're probably more advanced than I am because they have a lot more bells and a lot more whistles. But because I'm a TOC thinker, the bells and whistles are not things I'm concerned about. It needs to be aligned with what it is we need to do. So we only build what we need. We only build things that work for us. We don't have to justify it to anybody else. You don't have to justify the AI that you use to anybody else. But if this is something that you want, remember, you can get the 90mm BOS. Everything is there for you, every step to set this up. And now we're going to add this to it, right? Create your Telegram bot. It tells you how to do it here. Get your Telegram user ID, set up on an always on machine, write the bridge, lock the permissions, write in session continuity, install as a background service, and then test it, right? The principle behind all of this, and again, this is why training and conversing, not just typing prompts, but talking, vocalizing your thoughts. The principle behind what we've set up here is that the bridge is dumb. It's just a pipeline. The intelligence lives in the agent brain that we set up inside of the 90mm BOS. And all that bridge does is allow us to talk back and forth so that it's available from anywhere. That's it. That's all it is. If you're interested in accessing the 90mm BOS, remember the base system is free. You just go to lee6.agency/90mm BOS. Let me see. If I can share that on the screen. Yeah, you should see it now, right? This walks you through it. The setup guide, the deployment prompt, right? That deployment prompt tells it everything it needs to do to set itself up, how you onboard yourself through this, quick references, gives you an overview of TOC methodology. So the thinking, remember, technology in and of itself is not the solution. The solution is you set up the rules and assumptions so that your technology is actually producing a profitable outcome. And then, of course, we give you the FAQ and some portability guides of how you can move it between computers if you don't have it set up on a VPS, right? All of this available to use. And just as an added benefit, I'm going to share with you the step-by-step guide of how you can build your Telegram bridge. Normally, I think people would probably make you pay for something like this. I'm going to throw this in. It's not going to be immediate. I'm not going to do it right this moment, or maybe I will. I don't know. But the tab will be in there inside of the 90mm BOS. So all of this said, the innovations that we're coming up with come from learning and watching what other people are doing, and then using the agent that we've trained to consistently make the system more accessible, functional, and beneficial. That's it. That's all you got to do. Then you start coming up with stuff like this. Some crazy shit can be done. So I hope you have. I hope you've been able to do some thinking about what it is that you want to do with this. And you know what? Go out there, make